Hey everyone, this is 5 steps to audit your marketing funnel in 1 hour per week. This is a simplified version of the model that I use. This is a really quick breakdown to help you guys navigate your time. We're all trying to do with more with less. And, I see a lot of people getting stuck in the analysis of their data and just spending all day watching their campaigns. And that's not a productive way of doing things. You need to be out there executing and not just poring over the data all week long. So this here is going to be 5 steps, and I've really tried to break it down and simplify it for you. Step 1 is to know your KPI benchmarks. So every industry has their own benchmarks. Even like within the apparel space, there's different benchmarks for different subsegments. Whether it's athleisure, whether it's footwear, whether it's outdoor. There's lots of different KPI benchmarks. So I would suggest at least monitoring MER, ROAS, AROAS, which is your cold ROAS, and a revenue per visitor, media spend, conversion rate, average order value, net revenue, and percentage of returning customers. So this should take you just a few minutes. Do a quick Google search specific to your niche, and you should be able to find some of these benchmarks. If you can't find a benchmark specific to your niche for one of these KPIs, I would use just an average for the apparel space. And then you should definitely find the benchmark for just the apparel niche and use that one instead. So really important to know your KPI benchmarks before we go and create our dashboard. So when we make our dashboard, this is where you want to be able to see, are your KPIs above or below your industry benchmarks? The reason why this is so important is because on an ongoing basis, you need to see 2 things. One, what is my progress towards my monthly target? And 2, am I above or below the benchmark that I've set for myself? Because if 9 out of 10 KPIs are above my benchmark, and I'm looking for areas of improvement, where can I opportunities to grow my business, it's very easy then to just say, well, focus on the KPIs that are below benchmark, right? And then bring everything up to standard, and that's going to help increase your revenue. So that's one really important thing is those KPI benchmarks and knowing if you're above or below. The other thing is that calculating the percentage of weekly progress towards the monthly target. So if you have a monthly target or a quarterly target, even break that down into months, and then take your monthly target, break it down into weeks, and do a quick calculation of like, okay, if it's Monday of the second week of the month, what day is it out of how many days of the month? You can calculate that percentage. Now you know how close you should be to your target. This will give you your pacing. So this is great for your media budgets, for your net revenue targets, all of these targets, to make sure that you're on pace to hit the targets that you're looking for. And now you can course correct if you need to. Step 3 is time blocking your schedule. So this is like a simple step that a lot of people miss, which is don't be just doing random activities, being reactive all throughout your week. You need to set your schedule. I would suggest, like a Monday, for example, block out your schedule for your account reviews, and then, take your feedback, take your insights, and then bring them to your team. Or if it's just you running it, then you have your insights for the rest of the week of, building your priority list of what to work on. But time blocking is super critical to having a productive week, because otherwise what's going to happen is it's not going to take you an hour to review all of your data and review your funnels. It's going to take you 2 hours. It's going to take you 3 hours, because as things are coming in, you're just addressing them. It's very inefficient. So time block your schedule as a part of this. And then for step 4, review the areas of highest leverage. So when you're actually going in and now reviewing your campaigns, we kind of use like a pyramid approach. So you want to look at your overall stats. You want to look at your stats by channel. You want to look at your stats by campaign. And then you want to go down to the ad set level. So we want to know things like total media cost versus expected budget. So all the data that we're analyzing, we want it to be within context of the budget, right? Because it doesn't mean much if I say, well, we are, 50% of the way to our target. It's like, okay, but what if we've spent 80% of our budget? That's not a good result, right? And we don't know that unless we also say, this is what we've done with our media. So, you could be like, well, we're 50% of the way to our target and we've only spent 20% of our media. It's like, that is a win. That's, you are on the way to hitting your target. And in fact, you might save some money, right? So you want to know always versus the expected budget. Where are we? So total media cost. Also look at total media cost versus the key results. So if your key result that you're driving for is net revenue or revenue per visitor or conversion value, what is that key result? And always drive it back to that, again, at the overall level, at the channel level, at the campaign level. And the reason you use this kind of pyramid approach is because when you're trying to narrow down where your when you're trying to narrow down where the results are the best and where you need to improve your campaigns, you can use this methodology to basically break it down and go, okay, this channel is performing well. This channel needs work because it's underperforming. So we're going to then go into the channel, which the campaigns are underperforming, go into the campaign, okay, which of the ad sets are underperforming. And that's how you're going to break it down very quickly, right? So this is why you want to look at total media cost versus key result by channel, right? And then cost per result fluctuations per campaign. So at the campaign level, look at which campaigns are struggling, which ones are doing very well. This one's got a high ROAS, this one's got a low ROAS, but make sure that you're looking at it on a result basis. So, don't look at your, if you've got an awareness campaign versus a conversion campaign, don't compare those two and say, well, the awareness campaign is getting this ROAS. It's like, yeah, because you're going to get those customers because that's what you're asking Meta for, right? If you're trying to drive awareness, you want to be looking at things like CPM. You want to be looking at, ad recall, those sorts of things. So make sure you're looking at it versus your key result. Now, performance leading KPIs. These are basically what you're doing is now you're going through your campaigns, you're going through your channels, and you're looking for red flags. So you're looking for the things that stick out. Don't worry about like the marginal, oh, this went up 10%, this went down 10%. You want to look for those red flags. This went up 100%, this went up 50%, or it decreased. These are major changes because the incremental stuff is going to, just fluctuate over time. It's those major changes that we're looking for to identify, okay, we made a change here and it was positive, or we made a change here and it was negative, or something is either trending positively or trending negatively, right? So make sure you're looking for those red flags and writing down your notes as you go through. And so as you're gathering your insights, what you're doing is when you're finding those red flags, you're looking for the places to dig. You have to make sure that you have the right time window, right? So I suggest looking at 7 days, 30 days, 60 days. This way you can see not only what's happened recently, but also what the trend is. You might find that recently in the last 7 days, your results are great. And in the last 60 days, they're not great, right? So that means we've got positive momentum going into the next week if that continues. So make sure you're looking at different time windows. Don't just look at 30 days and that's it. Look at different time windows and then take those red flags as you've written them down, and then create a priority list of areas of weakness and areas of opportunity. And now you're going to take those and explore those throughout the week. So this whole process should not take you more than an hour. If it's taking you more than an hour, it's because you don't have a plan. You're not time blocking. You don't know what you're looking for. And I see a lot of people going into accounts just, looking around, trying to find an insight, and they're not sure what they're looking for. If you know what you're looking for, this becomes very quick. When I do these kinds of audits, it takes me literally 10 minutes. It can be, it doesn't matter if it's an account that is doing $1 million a month in revenue. It takes me 10 minutes to do this review, right? Because I know exactly what I'm looking for. So you can definitely do this in under an hour. This should save you some time. Let me know in the comments if you have any feedback. Thanks.